Now, you want to go a little nerdy? You're going to love this. I think you're going to love what I'm going to explain to you right now. So we just talked right now about how there are special functions that are void functions, empty functions, and functions that take stuff, take inputs, and do not return anything. They just do something. They just change the state of the program or print to the console or do graphical stuff. Now, you may have noticed, now that I wrote those two examples, you may have noticed the similarity between this static void thing and the typical structure that we get whenever we start a new console application. And alas, now finally we were able to understand exactly what a console application is. And turns out that a console application is just simply as simple as a function that has a very particular name called main. And that's why the console application knows that is this function that it needs to run. And it's a function that doesn't return anything. So whenever I execute a console application, what my Visual Studio environment or my .NET framework is doing is it's looking for that main function and it's executing whichever code is inside of it. All right. And that's the reason why if I now press start, the .NET framework knows that in this code that I write, it needs to start by executing this main function. All right. Now, but wait, what does this have to do with an actual console? Why is it a console application and not just an application, right? Well, it turns out that console applications are specifically designed to be executed from a terminal, from a console. It's just that when we are in the Visual Studio environment and we click continue, or we hit start, Visual Studio takes care of like opening this console for us and executing this right away. But we could actually do that manually ourselves. Additionally, perhaps the most interesting feature of a console application is that a console application can actually take arguments. It can actually take input data. But why would, and the type that it takes is an array of strings. Wait, why is that the case? Well, it turns out that console applications, because they are designed specifically to be executed from a terminal, they are meant to be executed as the name of the function, so a name of the application, and then with a bunch of spaces, all the data that you want to provide to that console application to work with. And then when the terminal executes this function, this console application, it takes all of those additional elements, it puts them together as an array of arguments, and then it passes those in to the console application. What the hell is that? That is a lot of stuff. Okay, let me show you an example of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new Visual Studio project, okay? And I'm going to create a new project. And this one, I'm not going to give it numerical names for the video tutorials that I'm doing. I'm going to create a console application, and I'm going to give it the name of a function that I would want to use in my console. I'm going to create a console application that, given a name, it greets in the console the person with that name. So the project name, I'm going to call it greet, just like the function that I created before. And I'm going to put that on my desktop. This will be important so that you know where this lives and then you can access that from the terminal. I'm going to create that, and I have an empty, and I have an empty, I have an empty console application. All right. And then what I'm going to do is in this application, what I would like is I want someone from outside to do something like this. In the terminal, I want them to type greet and then, for example, Roger or John or whatever, right? And then what I want is after, I want the program to type in the console, hello, John. So what I would need to do is I would need to say here, let's take from the string of arguments, let's take the first one and use that to print that name to the console. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say console.writeLine, and I'm going to print here, hello space plus the first element in the argument list. So args dot 0 plus the exclamation mark. All right. And that's going to be it. I'm not going to do the read key, whatever, because in this case, I'm not interested in waiting. It's not going to be for the screen. It's going to be for the console. So this is going to be as simple as this. I'm going to execute this program, and you won't even see it because it just flashes, it prints. Well, it actually fails because it was executed with no arguments. When you run a console application from Visual Studio, no arguments are passed here to the. So this array of strings is empty. So that's why I'm getting an error here. But let me build this code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this console application and I'm going to build it into something that can be executed by my system. And the nice thing is that if I open now my Visual Studio folder, the project, remember it's on my desktop under the folder grid. If I go inside and I go to the bin folder and to debug, you can see that Visual Studio has created an executable that is containing this console application. This executable is something that I could just run right now and it double click, but you can't see anything because it had an error, it just flashed away, it's gone. But what I could do is I could open a terminal. So if you do search in your computer and you search for a command prompt, you will be able to open a tiny window like this, which is a terminal. And this gives you access to what is in your system, etc., etc. Something that if I want to execute this greeting program from my terminal, what I would need to do is I would need to first move to where this program is living. And this is, you can do that, but if you click here in the Explorer, you can see the full route, the full path of where this program is. It's in my desktop under grid, the bin folder, and the debug folder. So I can do that by saying cd and then paste here all this stuff. As I do that and I press there, you can see that I can see my 3 files now, the ones that I'm seeing right here. And are you ready for this? Check this out. What I can do now is I can type here greet.x, which is the name of the function, and then I can pass in a name, for example, John. And then as I execute this, you can see that to the console, I get this message printed, hello, John. Or I can do this and say, hello, Jane. And then Jane shows up here. Or I can say, hello, Jane, James, Robert, etc. But I only get the first one in. So maybe what I want to do is I want to improve my program and be able to greet everyone that has been called in the line of arguments. Remember, what Visual Studio does, or what your system does, is whenever you call greet, it takes anything that comes afterwards, it splits anything that is coming with white spaces, and then it creates an array of strings with all that information. So here, we actually have, when we call this, we have an array with all those additional parameters as a list, as an array. So what I can do is, if I want to greet everyone, what I want to do is I want to say, I'm going to iterate over each one of the strings that have been passed. So I'm going to iterate over all of this. And then inside of here, instead of only writing a message for the first one, I'm going to write a message for every single one that is available on the array of arguments. I'm going to build this solution so that I compile a new version of greet. And then here, I'm going to repeat this by pressing the up arrow key. And you can see that now my code with a for loop is going over each one of the strings in the arguments array, and is printing that to the console. And similarly, I could do more of this, and it will print a value for each one of them. Or I could even just not pass anyone in, because the array would be empty, then my program doesn't really do anything. Okay? How awesome is this? So you have now the power to create your own console application, your own terminal applications, very simply. Now, can we do something, for example, where we can add addition and then add the value of 23 and 56? something like that. Can we add two numbers? I'm actually going to call this add. All right. Obviously, we don't have this right now, so it's not going to work. But can we create that? Let's just take a look at that. So I'm going to create another Visual Studio project. So I'm going to open another one, and I'm going to do, oh, what just happened here? I'm going to open another one. What is my Visual Studio? Where did it go? Oh, I have a lot of windows. Sorry, Visual Studio. I'm going to open a new project. It's going to be a console application. This one is going to be called Add, and it's also going to be on my desktop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write here an algorithm that given any amount of numbers from the console, is going to print them, is going to add them together, and is going to print the solution to the console. Now, the way we would do that is just like I had before. And actually, why not reuse one of the functions that we created before? I'm going to say that the addition of a stream, I can use the addition of an array of values. Actually, I cannot use this one because one of the problems is that even if I may want to call this function with numbers, it turns out that the terminal, when you type stuff, the terminal doesn't really know if what you're typing are numbers, booleans, doubles, whatever they are. So that's why the type of the array that is coming into the console is always going to be of a string, because then from a string I will be able to try to convert that to whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say double sum is going to be equal to 0, and then with a for loop I'm going to go over each one of the elements in the array, so args.length, etc. And then remember, I cannot do this. I cannot add to this double, I cannot add each one of the elements in the arguments. What I need to do is first, I need to see if I can convert them from a string into a number. So what I would do is I would say value, and then I'm going to use, for example, convert to double, and then I'm going to convert each one of the values. And then if that works well, I will add that value to the total sum. And then here in the console, I'm going to write line the result of the sum. Or even if I want to be a bit more specific, your total is like something like this. Let me build this solution. Let me go to my desktop and find where the bin folder with this is. So this is going to be the route. I'm going to type here cd and then go to that route. And then if I type there, you can see that now I have the add functionality here in this folder. I'm going to type cls to clear the screen. And then now I can say add.x, and let's add, for example, the value of 2 and 3. Your total is 5. Well, let's value 3 and 7 and 6 and this really long number here. And because I'm using a for loop to go over all the arguments, I can add everything together. Can I add values with decimal part? Of course I can. If they are parsable, why not? So I can add values with decimal part. We just need to be careful, okay? And we just need to be careful. Why is this not working? We just need to be careful, because if I happen to just add something that is not a number, the conversion will fail, and then I will get an error. So this will just crash. It will not work. It's not a terrible error, but it's not a great one. All right. So remember, console applications, in fact, under the hood, they're just a very, very simple function, a function that returns nothing, and that takes an array of string arguments, which is whatever has been passed as arguments to whoever is calling this console application. And if you just want to use this not just to learn C#, but to actually create code that you can call in your system and operate with, then you can compile, so you can build console applications, and then you can call them from your terminal, from your command prompt, okay? And that is why really console applications That's why we have been using console applications, and that's why they're the simplest form of executable code. All right. Okay, and I think with this, we might be finishing the section in functions. So the next video is going to be just an exercise where I'm going to be writing a lot of different functions that are going to be doing a lot of different things. So if you want to practice what you've learned in this section, let's move on to the next video.